This meeting is being recorded.
ஒன்று ரெண்டாவது I know we are all joining from home, we are joining from computer or cell phone, but உங்களால முடியும்னா if you can open up your video, it's a good thing to do. When somebody is presenting, it's good to see people rather than talking to a computer. So if you can afford to open your video, please open your video. And then as we go through the session, you're welcome to write down your questions in the chat window or hold your questions. We have a separate session towards the end where we have a question and answer. So welcome everybody, welcome for the style session. So today what are we going to do? A lot of you are new to style. So we'll introduce what is style, what is Young Translators. My friend Elango is also here from Young Translators. This is a joint session between Style and Young Translators. So we'll introduce both the organizations. I invite one of our high school student, Niveda Jivanandam, to do the welcome address. And we always start our sessions with a Thirukkural. So we have one of our parent, one of our style lead, Raji Atapan. She will present a Thirukkural, today's Thirukkural. And then the major show is about ChatGPT in Thirukkural. Mr. Rajasekar Elango will present that and we'll have a Q&A session. So we'll try to have about 15 minutes towards the end for Q&A, and then we'll do a vote of thanks. So that's the session. It's a 1.5 hour session and we'll try to be on time. So we'll try to open up the Q&A around 11:10. So that's the high level background. Before we jump into the session, I want to give a quick background to what is style and what is Young Translators. So in Southern California, there is an organization called So-Called Tamil. That's a non-profit organization, So-Called Tamil, that brings all the Tamil community together in the southern part of California in United States, right? The major thing that we do is Tamil Kalvi. So we have about 350 students that join us on a curriculum on Tamil Kalvi. In addition to that, we formed a small mini organization called Style. So Style is part of So-Called Tamil. What does it do? Why do you need another organization? So Style is for youth. So think of it like a youth club. While Tamil Kalvi is meant for curriculum, learning Tamil, learning the language, this continues the conversation, continues the learning with our kids. I have a middle schooler, high schooler myself. So the topics that we are looking to teach them are around public speaking, around career opportunities, around college admission, which will be coming up next in their life, both science and technology. So this session is on the technology series. About volunteering, high school is all, major part of high school is volunteering. So we also enable opportunities for them to volunteer, taking leadership roles and entrepreneurship. You can look at our website, So-Called Tamil, to learn more. There is no fees or anything to join. It's a simple WhatsApp group. If you're not part of the WhatsApp group, you can email us through the same link that you got the Zoom link, and we can tell you the WhatsApp link. We post a lot of sessions and events, and you can join or not join as per your need, as per your convenience. Who can join? Anybody from middle school and up, that is grade 6 and up, can join. So that's a high level overview on style. I invite all of you to volunteer and participate in future session as well. If you're an expert in a certain industry or a certain function, like Mr. Rajasekar is, I welcome you to reach out to us so you can present in the coming sessions also. So that's a little bit about style. I invite my friend Elango to talk about Young Translator.
Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. So let me say a few things about Young Translators. It is another non-profit organization. We are based from Whitwell Foundation. A lot of our activities revolve around language and translation. So why translation? Mainly because quality content, right? Quality content come from any language. For example, in English, there's tons of educational, informational websites, materials, things like Khan Academy, things like TED videos, and so on. They are available, but they're mostly in English, right? So if you are a language learner, if you are a rural student in India, in Tamil Nadu, you cannot access it. So we do a lot of translation of this high quality material into Tamil. This kind of translation is mostly done by youngsters. So our teenagers who are growing up here, So it has these dual objectives, right? One is we do the translation so other people can access. Other one, people who are growing up here, people of Tamil origin, the children, they get to practice their language. So they get to know, they get to practice, they improve their skills. That's one part. We do several other projects also. One other project that we have recently started is teaching English to rural students in Tamil Nadu. Again, why they want to learn English? Again, for if they go to college, if they go to job, all of them will require good English knowledge. So we also do that. Again, we involve the teenagers here to teach them English, right? To teach them American English. So again, both youngsters helping each other, right? So helping each other learn the language. So, using language as a way to educate and empower people. That's our motive. And I'm pretty excited to join this session today. Again, I see Mr. Rajasekar's effort is similar to us in the sense, Thirukkural is an excellent ancient wisdom, right? But it is in Tamil. So most every Tamil-speaking person will know about it. But what about non-Tamil speaking people, right? So Mr. Raja's effort is unlocking that, right? It is making it available through people speaking in English, and they can just converse it and get to know the meaning and without really knowing Tamil or anything about Thirukkural. So I'm glad to be part of this. Nice to meet everyone. Back to you, Sampath.
Thank you, thank you. Now I invite one of our own students, Niveda. She's a high schooler in Alice Obiago, to give the welcome address. Niveda.
Hi everyone, good morning and happy Sunday. My name is Niveda Jivanandam, and I would like to welcome all of you to today's session on how ChatGPT can be used in Thirukkural. We all hear a lot about artificial intelligence, machine learning, chatbot, natural language processing in schools and in the news, but what are they? How does it all work? Have you heard of ChatGPT and Bard? Do you use it? We hear many large companies like Google and Microsoft investing billions in AI. And I wonder how it will change our future. And most importantly, how can we use these tools to be used in the Tamil language, specifically for Thirukkural. Thirukkural is a classic Tamil Sangam work on the art of living made by Thiruvallur. It consists of 133 chapters with 1,330 kurals that teach everyday virtues of an individual. We are eager to learn about all of these in the session today. I would like to introduce and welcome our guest speaker, Mr. Rajasekar Elango, today. He works as a principal software engineer at Salesforce, building artificial intelligence technology and chatbot products. He lives in Tampa, Florida with his wife and 2 kids, and his wife, Mrs. Ramya, is a Tamil teacher at the Tampa Bay Tamil Academy and makes YouTube videos to explain the meanings of Thirukkural. What a wonderful way to take the classic Tamil Sangam work to the next generation. Fascinated by the timeless wisdom in Thirukkural and his technical expertise, Mr. Rajasekar built KuralBot to help explain the meaning of Thirukkural through our natural language conversations. We always start our style sessions with Thirukkural, and I invite Raji Aunty to start the session by explaining a Kural.
Thanks, Navida. We can go to the next slide. Today, I'm really glad to join the session. When I was looking for a Thirukkural to share with everyone today, I know what I really want to say in terms of the content, but since it's hard to figure out which one of those, it's exactly it's in my mind, but it's not coming in the words actually. So I had to do some searching and then figure this out. But that's where the KuralBot will come, I think, and it'll be really helpful for everybody who don't know Tamil and they really know the content what they want to say, and the words they were looking will come using the ChatGPT, the KuralBot. That's where our speaker is going to explain us how this is going to work. The Kural I wanted to share today is from Power of Speech. I'll explain this in Tamil first. Solal Vallan Sorvilan Anjan Avanai Eagle Vellal Yarkum Aridu. I think most of you will know Tamil. Let's go over this in Tamil quickly and then we can come to English. Solal Vallan is Solvadil Nalla Vallamai Mikkavan. Sol, the power, the convey, how to convey it, the strength of choosing the words to talk about how to say what you want to say. And then Sorvilan, Sorvu Iladavan. Sorvu is tiredness. Sorvu can be out of doing things a lot, tiredness, laziness. But over here, it's whatever you want to say it tersely, you want to say it aptly, like even if it is hard to say, you should not be tired in saying that. The message that you want to convey should go across. That's the sorvo over here. It's not really like the bodily laziness or the tiredness. It's like the mentally, like how you want to say it. And anja you don't really like fear about like either the group of people who you are with, or it's like somebody who you are think like they will not accept your thought, but still like you want to convey the message without any fear. தான் எண்ணியதை பிறர் ஏற்க சொல்லும் ஆற்றல் உள்ளவன், சொல்லும் செய்தி கடினமாக இருந்தாலும் சோர்வு இல்லாதவன், கேட்பவர் பகையாளர் என்றாலும் அஞ்சாதவன். ஸோ இந்த மாதிரி 3 திங்ஸ் இருக்கு இதுல. அந்த மூணு கேரக்டரிஸ்டிக்ஸ் இருக்கு. அந்த 3 கேரக்டரிஸ்டிக்ஸ் இருக்கிறவனை வந்து பகை கொண்டு வெல்வது எவர்க்கும் கடினம். இகல் இஸ் பகை. ஸோ பகையில வந்து பகைனா இட்ஸ் நாட் லைக் ரியலி த வார் ஆர் தி போர், அந்த பகை இல்ல. the enmity, or like let's say like they won't accept your thoughts, but you have to say in a way that your thoughts are stronger. So அந்த மாதிரி சொல்லும் போது அதை வந்து வெல்றது வந்து மிகவும் கடினம். மிகவும் வெல்றது வந்து அவங்க வந்து உங்களுடைய தாட்டுக்கு அகேன்ஸ்டா அவங்க இன்னொரு தாட் சொல்றது வந்து மிகவும் அரிது, கடினம். So it is impossible for anyone to conquer him by intrigue, who possesses the power of speech, has an unforgettable mind and fearless speech. So whenever you go and talk in of people, or you want to convey a message, remember about 3 things. Whatever you're going to say you should be strong in that. Like மத்தவங்க சொல்றதை ஏத்துக்கிற நீங்க சொல்றதை மத்தவங்க ஏத்துக்கிற மாதிரி நீங்க சொல்லணும். You should not get really like tired in your thoughts or the way you want to say it. So even though it could be hard, you should be able to convey that convincingly. And then you should not be afraid, or you should not be really like off the group, or just the people who are in the group. So if you have all these 3 things, then the power of speech is with yours. With that, like I would like to invite our guest speaker to go over the KuralBot, Mr. Rajasekar.
Yeah. Hey, thank you. Hey everyone. I'm very glad to be presenting today. First, I would like to thank the South California Tamil Society, as well as the Ink Translators organization and Style organization for giving me this opportunity. Thank you. Like I'm very happy to be here. Let me start sharing my screen. I hope you all can see my screen now.
Yes.
Okay. So I would like to make this a little bit interactive. So for that, can you go to this menti.com website and then type this code, or you can also scan this QR code so that you would able to answer the questions I'll be asking during the session interactively. Yeah,
I was
I'll give
for the camera. Yeah.
Yeah, you should be able to scan, or you can also type. If you use computer, you can use another tab, because you have to switch back and forth between this tab and other Zoom to see the presentation versus answering. If you are in a phone, maybe you can pick another phone so that you don't have to switch between apps. Yeah, thank you for the nice introduction, Nivedita, and also Sampath and Elango for organizing this. Let's make a few more seconds so that everybody will be ready. I think it will still show. Yeah, so I'm going to the next slide, but I think you would able to see the code. It's still on the top of the presentation, so you can even if you have not done yet, you can still go to menti.com and use the code above. Okay, so today we will talk about AI and what is chatbot, and I will do a demo of KuralBot, like because it is built on top of the AI technology, which it specifically uses the ChatGPT. So I will explain about what is ChatGPT and how you can start using it, and then I will also want to focus on in general idea of ChatGPT and then other tools that are available. Like KuralBot is just one of the tool that is built using ChatGPT, but the future is here with like a lot of artificial intelligence tools, and it's going to impact a lot of other careers and jobs. So I wanted to focus other half of the presentation on like future of AI and how we are evolving. Okay, I mean, artificial intelligence, hope you all know, like it is basically making a computer or any machine to think like a human. So that is what is like artificial intelligence. So just to see, like, if you are familiar with, so if you can type on the menti.com, like, like AI powered products that you are familiar with, you can type bot GPT, sure. Yeah, there is three text boxes, but you can type one or as many Bing chat, cool, nice. Robo webcam, yeah, that is good. That is one of the consumer facing product. That's good. That's good to know. There is a lot of consumer product facing products too. Copilot, yes, yeah, that is a big one for programmers. Okay, Siri, yeah, good. Pixie Pie, yeah. So a lot of like voice interactive products, smart assistants. Yeah, self-driving cars, yes. I mean, now it is very popular, like Tesla and other cars doing self-driving. Okay, so it looks like people are not familiar with this products. So I'll move on, like okay, so what are chatbots? So chatbot is one of the AI tool where it can converse with a human. Chatbot is a machine or program or computer application which can converse with human like a human being. It will try to understand the natural language. I'll just quickly show like one of the example, like Hulu. You are probably familiar with Hulu. It's a streaming website. If you go there, if you need some help, you can bring up this chat window. So here you see this is a chat bot, so it will try to answer you. So let's say, I mean, it has some options, but I can also say like I want to cancel subscription, right? You can type like a human language, and it will be able to understand that, and then come back with it is able to understand what I am trying to say, and then it will ask some questions, right? And then I can say it is asking how I am built. I don't know, so I'll just say I don't know. And then and then it is not able to figure out like what I mean. So it is trying to go back to the menu, and then it is asking me to type the menu and then ask one of the things, right? So this is the current version or current traditional chatbots. It is a little bit conversational, but it is not up to that yet. It will, if you go to this manage my subscription, and then if you go through this, it will be able to serve you, but still it is not like very much like conversational style yet. But this is the current state. The chat GPT changed everything, like now we have more advanced natural language conversation that is possible with chat GPT, which we will see like during this session. Okay, let's move on. Yeah, so KuralBot is like a chatbot, except that it is trained on all the Thirukkurals. So it knows all the meanings of all the Thirukkurals. So it can answer from Thirukkural, and it can also converse in the natural language. So you can ask in a natural language, it will able to understand what you are asking, and then find the answers to your question from the Thirukkural and tell you like what is there in the Thirukkural for that question. Okay, so this is another interactive question. So imagine you have a wonderful opportunity to talk to like a very wise philosopher who has like all the wisdom in the world. He knows everything. He can advise you on anything. Like he can advise you. He can provide tips on anything. So what would you ask him? Like do you have any goal that you want to get advice? Anything you want to improve on? Just whatever that comes to your mind. Try to answer here. How to achieve peace. Okay, that's a good one. History, how to be successful in, how to be happy, how to be a good citizen. Yeah, these are really nice questions. Let me give a few more seconds to see what people are thinking. Pursuit of happiness, successful. Who created AI, how to be rich, right? Okay, making money, manage money. Okay, so these are the things that you would ask, right? So now, okay, it looks like how to achieve peace is how to achieve peace and how to calm mind, or or the topmost. So I'm going to pick this, right? So we have this, right? So now we have this question, and we know that Thirukkural would have answers to some of these questions, so we can ask Thirukkural, right? So let's ask here KuralBot. So you can switch back to Zoom presentation. How to achieve peace, right? Let's ask KuralBot to see, like, what is available in Thirukkural. So what it does is, like, KuralBot will take this question and then try to find the matching answers in Thirukkural. So here's the answer from KuralBot. To achieve peace, it is important to control your anger, right, and not let it consume it. By keeping calm and peaceful mind, we can obtain whatever we desire. It is crucial to understand thoughts and feelings of others and to speak in a way that is easily understood by them, right? So this is one of the answers, like, and then you can see, like, if you want to learn, like, okay, how does it KuralBot came up with this answer, then you can click on this, and then you would see, like, what are the Kurals it used, right? You will see, like, what are the Kurals that is used to answer this question. You can see it here, and also you can switch to Adhigaram and then see, what is the Adhigaram that it is, able to pick these answers from. So yeah, this is the basic use of Thirukkural, where the Thirukkural has a lot of wisdom, but you don't remember all the things. But anytime you have any questions, you can come here and then try to answer, like, you can see, like, anything that you would ask, how to be successful, right? How to be successful. You can ask, and then it will again give you answer, and then it will pick the Kurals and then give you answer, right? So any wisdom that you want, you can, like, I have tried many questions, like, it is important to understand your audience and tailor your speech according to it, and it talks about the wisdom. Yeah, I will not read all of this, but this is the idea, right? You get it. Okay, so that is one way you can ask any question and KuralBot will find you answers. But if you can also ask question from a specific Kural or Adhigaram, right? Let's say I wanted to ask about Adhigaram, right? So let's say to ask about Adhigaram, you can put at. I think you are probably familiar with chat tools like Discord or Slack. There are some special characters here. You can use at symbol to use an Adhigaram. Let's say I pick friendship, right? I think so. Let's say I pick the friendship Adhigaram, and then I can also say summarize. So basically, Natpu or friendship is an Adhigaram, and then in that I wanted to summarize what Thirukkural says in that Adhigaram. So then it summarizes the whole Adhigaram and then gives you, like, the snippet of, like, it teaches about true friendship. It is not being together and laughing, but also, like, helping each other. The real friendship is about deep connection in your hearts, and are also, like, support each other in both good and bad times. Also says that true friends don't encourage in each other to do wrong things. You don't, as a friend, don't do wrong things, but do things right. So this is the like, what the ruler said. GPT tries to understand it and then provides in a way that we can understand in a very simpler language. Let's also pick some Kural. Like, so to pick a Kural, like previously we picked an Adhigaram, we can also pick a Kural. For Kural, you can put pound and then you can pick the Kural number if you know, or you can type few letters of the Kural. I'm going to try the same Kural that we saw in the beginning of the session, Solvallan, Sorvillan, right? So let's see what KuralBot says about this, right? And let's now try to see live by Kural, right? Because let's see, we understand the meaning in the beginning of the session. We had a nice explanation, but let's see how we can live according to this Kural. What are the practical steps we can do, right? And KuralBot, takes that meaning and then it is coming up with what we can do today, right? Develop the power of speech, and then be courageous, right? And then build credibility, right? So you have to have the knowledge and expertise to able to have that kind of confidence, right? And then also you have to listen actively, and then choose your words wisely. Be a good listener and practice empathy, right? Again, I'm just to save time, I'm not reading each and every word, but I think you got the idea, right? So this takes to the next level where not only you understand the meaning, but you can get some practical tips by, okay, so how do I, do live according to that Kural, right? Because, it's not only like uh, to learn Kural, but also like, we have to live according to the Kural, right? I mean, that's important. Like, Thirukkural himself said, like, Karka kasarar karbave katrapin nirka adarkutta. So you have to live according to the Kural. So you KuralBot can tell you, like, how can I live according to that Kural, right? And let's also try other ones. Like, so you can also browse through all the Kurals. If you go to Kurals tab, then you will see all the Kurals, all the Adhikarams, everything here. So here I have chosen again the same Adhikaram, power of speech. And then I think this is 647, again the same Kural. We saw the practical tips. We can also make it explain using a story. So here you can pick explain using story, right? So I'm just giving you, like, there are different ways to use KuralBot. One is like, you can go to Kurals, see all the Kurals, and then pick one of the Kural, and then you can also choose there. And then it will also automatically fill, when you click on that menu, it will automatically fill in the command you need to type. So the same Kural, we are asking you to explain using a story. So now KuralBot is now explaining the same idea using a story. So here you would see, like, it talks about Ravi, who has an exceptional power of speech, but there are some mischievous boys who is trying to, like, prank him and then try to challenge him with something. And at the end, you would see that they can't beat the Ravi because he's very well talented and has a good power of speech. So that it basically conveys the same meaning, but now you have a story where you can easily remember, okay, how you can, understand the same Kural using a story where you can understand the much better, right, in a story format, right? So that is also possible. um, yeah. And then just you can also do sharing. So once you are done with this, there's a share button. So if you wanted to share in the social media like Facebook or Twitter, you can toggle that, then you will able to share here. Also you can click like, if you like here. And then once you share, then it will start appearing in the, if you go to like a share, you can also look at other people's shared answers. Like, you can go to shared answers here, and then it will appear. The last question we tried, it takes few minutes to appear here, but it will start appearing. So here, these are the list of other questions that is shared. Even if you don't ask any questions, you can always come to shared answers and then see what other people have asked, and then see an answer to it. Like, if you see some questions, like, someone asked about this Kural, you can click on this, and then you can see, like, this is the Kural, and someone asked how explain Yahavarayam Nahaka Kural in English, and then it is able to explain this. And this is something you didn't ask, but you can see, like, what others ask, and you can learn that way also. So that's a very high level of, like, I didn't go into all the things, but I think that will give you an idea of, like, how to use KuralBot. Okay, let's move on. Okay, this is the demo that we did. Okay, let's talk about GPT, right? Because this KuralBot is all built based on GPT. Let's actually ask KuralBot itself on what is GPT, right? I think I have it. Okay, let's ask what is GPT to KuralBot itself. Again, this is Thirukkural will not have an answer, so but still it will try to do a matching to see if there is anything there, and it will find some irrelevant things. So let's ignore the Kurals, but at the end, what it will say is that, Thirukkural doesn't have an answer, because Thirukkural doesn't have the answer, but it will try to answer you the question. What is GPT? So GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer, which is basically like, a technology where, it is trained with all the knowledge in the internet, like, all the publicly available knowledge is used to train a model. And then let me come to the end. Like, so basically it's an AI model which is pre-trained with a lot of information and can generate new content based on what it has learned. So if you have given all the knowledge in internet, then it can learn and then able to answer using what it has learned. At a simplest form, it is basically predicting a next word. Like, if you ask a question, it will try to predict a next word, and then since it has trained with billions of data, it is able to come up with very well answer, like that is very similar to how a human will answer. So it is able to come up with that kind of an answer. right? That is what is a GPT. Okay, so chat GPT, right? So GPT is the actual underlying AI model. The chat GPT is a chat interface that OpenAI has built on top of GPT model. So now I'm going to demo chat GPT. You can also go to chat.openai.com if you want to experiment with it. It is free, like, you have some free quota, and then after that they will start charging, but it is very, very minimal amount. So if you go there, and then you can also ask ChatGPT, like, why should I learn Thirukkural, right? Because it knows, like, it has trained with all the internet so knowledge, so it is able to tell you, like, why should I learn Thirukkural. It will tell you, like, moral and ethical guidance, cultural significance, literacy, inspiration, teaching tool. Just to save time, I'm not reading everything, but you would get, right? So Thirukkural can offer a wide range of personal and cultural intellectual benefits. It gives a moral guidance, cultural enrichment, language proficiency, and everything. So it is able to answer questions like. But let's say I ask about weather, right? How is weather? It is like in a chat, right? So you can ask, how is weather, right? Yeah. So it doesn't answer because it is trained with all the data until September 2021, and it cannot look up the current data. Like, it is not like a Google where you can search and find answer, right? It works off of a very well trained data, so you can't get any current news or current information, right? So you can't do that. Okay, let's start a new chat, and I'll give you an example where one of the examples of how you can use it, right? Let's say I'm going to copy, just to save time, I'm going to copy the command. Okay, let's go to ChatGPT. So let's say I have never been to Southern California. So let's say I'm going to visit Southern California, and I'm asking ChatGPT, okay, can you provide a 3-day itinerary for the best places to visit in that area? Because I'm planning for a trip. Now it can come up with an answer, right? So this is one of the very practical applications. Even in our last summer trip, I used ChatGPT, and then it is able to give me some baseline plan, right? So this is what it said. Basically, I know you all will know the places. So it's talking about Hollywood, Griffith Observatory, and then it is also recommending where to eat lunch, and it recommending where to eat dinner, and then second day where you can go, right? And then third day, San Diego. So it is able to give plan, right? So this is one of the practical ways you can use. So now I'm going to ask the same question. How is weather? Right. So now we will see the difference, right? So previously we asked about Thirukkural and then asked weather, and it cannot answer because it knows that I'm without the context. It knows that I'm asking about weather today, right? It cannot answer. But given this context, we are talking about visiting Southern California. We are talking about a trip, and I'm asking about what is weather. So now with the context, it knows that, okay, I'm planning a trip, so I would like to generally know how is the weather in Southern California. So now it is giving a general weather prediction, how a spring will be, how a summer will be, right? And then it gives, this is what I'm looking for. If I'm talking about a trip, then I just generally want to know what is the weather. So this is the biggest leap, right? This contextual information is the biggest advantage, or biggest invention, right, in the chat GPT, where it not only answer questions, but it can understand the context, what I am talking about. It knows what is the history, and then it give you like an answer. This is the intelligence, right? Like a human, right? When you talk to someone, right, if you're talking about a trip, if you ask weather, then he will understand, okay, I'm asking about general weather, right? This is the ability of a human before, but now a machine can also mimic that behavior, where if you're talking about some topic, you can switch topic and it can still know what is it, and answer, right, based on the context. So that is a big advantage, and that is how the chat GPT works. Okay, let's move on here. yeah, so let me just quickly go talk about like how it is all implemented, right? So I talked about the context, and I have a very high level, right? um, this is the playground you can also use. So in the playground you can experiment with how a GPT will answer. So in the playground you can tell, okay, answer the question truthfully as possible using the provided text. If the answer is not contained in the text below, you say don't know, because we don't want it to imagine or hallucinate. So we want it to be truthful, so we provide this instruction, and then we provide the context, right? In the context we provide Kural and its meaning, right? This is Kural 676, about how to do any task, right? This is modes of action, that is Venichailvahai Adhikaram. In that way, you have a Kural, and I'm providing the meaning in the English, and I'm asking a question, explain the meaning of Kural in a simple English for a 10th grader. So this is the very basic prompt that we can give. So that's how the works. The chat GPT works by providing it with a prompt, where in the prompt we provide clear instruction. In this case, instruction is asking it to answer a question with be very truthful. In the context, we give what is the information we want it to look, and we ask a question. It is pretty much like a comprehension we all have done in the English, right? You will be given a paragraph and given a question, and you would try to answer within that information. So that is a basic idea of how this KuralBot works, right? So it explains. Now the Kural is saying that before you do something, you should think about how much effort it will need, it, any difficulties you might face, and rewards. So basically, it took the same meaning, and then it is explaining it into for the 10th grader. But if you say, 2nd grader, I'm just changing the instruction. Um, you know, okay, I have to reset 2nd grader and submit it. It means that before you do something, you must think how hard it will be, what might make it your way, and how much you will benefit from it, right? You change the response, right? Depending on how you want to answer, it changes. That's how it works. By when I ask for a story in KuralBot, I ask him to think in terms of like a creative writer. When I ask about live by Kural, I say like, you are like a motivational coach, answer this, as a motivational coach. That's how you change the instruction, and then you can get the answer, right? So this is a basic idea, but we have like a challenge there, because Thirukkural is like, there is 1330 Thirukkurals. We cannot put all the information in that context, because it's not even, it will be too much. Like, even the API will not accept. There is a limit on how much content you can give to the prompt, so we can't give all the thing. Even if you give, it will be confused. So that's why there is a embedding API. I'll don't go too technical, but just at a high level, what it does is, the OpenAI has another API called embedding API, where it can compute similarity between the text. It can compute the meaning and then have a mathematical representation of the information. So what we have done is, we have taken all the Thirukkurals and took the meanings and then converted into some kind of a vector representation and store it in a DB. So now we have a mathematical representation of the meaning of each of the Kural. Now, when user asks a question, we again go to the embedding API, and then we again compute the mathematical value for the question. Now you have a mathematical representation of question semantic, and then the mathematical representation of all the Kural meanings. Then we do like a dot product and find the topmost matching answers, right? That is the top 10. So we take top 10 matching, and then we give that back to the chat GPT or GPT with the question, and then we give the topmost 10 Kurals. That's what happens. Like when I asked the question in KuralBot, it came up with 10 Kurals, right? These are the 10 Kurals that I identified as the matching meaning. Then we give that in the context, similar to how I gave this here. I'll be giving all the 10 Kural and its meaning here. And then I will ask the same question to the GPT. When I do that, let me come back to the presentation. When I do that, then it will provide the answer. This is the very high level of how it works, right? This is how the basic question answering will work. Okay, so we learned about KuralBot. I mean, I have a lot of work to do. Like, today it's all English based. I would like to, provide answers in Tamil too, and then audio input and output would be nice. The KuralBot is also, it is conversational, but it cannot go back and forth. I ask one question and it will answer, but I cannot ask a follow-up question like ChatGPT. So that is missing. Mobile integration is missing. And then the translation I use is GUPOP because that is a publicly available, but there is a lot of modern translations available for Thirukkural, and we can also use that. If given that we don't have a copyright issues and everything. When I talk about this because I know, like, the style and young translators, like, you are volunteers, there are a lot of high school students who also participate in STEM activities. So if there is, very enough interest, we can also, take this to so like a community project and then build these features on top of it, right? You can learn and we can, give much more, better product, to the world, right? That's why, I have this slide here. Okay, so I have a question here. I think you should be seeing a question. I think there's a lot of people joining in. When I start enter, then you will see. Okay, so you will be presented with a question and try to answer it. So you will be asked a question and then there is about 1 minute time.
Raja, quick one. If somebody joined new, you have the link in the chat window. You can click on the chat window to join this Mentimeter.
Yeah, menti.com, and then you can type the code 19372045. So I have given about 1 minute. I hope this is good enough. Okay, let's see how many. Okay, I hope the answer will come back. It says everyone has voted. Okay, nice. Okay, most people are interested to use. So I just wanted to see, like, with if people are impressed with it or would be using. Okay, good. 24 people like to use. Yeah, so that is what I want to propose. Like, I hope you got like power of ChatGPT. I would recommend playing around with some of these tools. KuralBot is one of that, but there is also other tools. Like I showed demo of ChatGPT. There is Google Bot, Bing, and Character Array and Midjourney. I think we have some time, so let me also do some quick demo of other tools. Let's try Google, right? So I'm going to try the same question. Like, I'm planning to visit South California. Can you provide me a 20? Like, this is the current world, right? This is what we typically do. Like when you're planning a trip, you go and type it in Google. And typically what you do, you have to, like, scan through all of this and then find relevant answers. And you have to, click through this and you have to spend more time, right? And that's where the ChatGPT, we asked the same question in ChatGPT. And we saw that, it is able to come up with this nice plan. And you can also play around with it. There is a plugin. It is mostly for parents. Like, there is a plugin you can use. If you have it, then you can actually switch between different models. Like, since we tried ChatGPT, I'm going to try Bard. So here I have a Google. Within the Google, there is a plugin that you can install in your browser. Then whenever you ask, then you can just simply ask in other GPT tools. Like, I can use ChatGPT, GPT-4, or Claude, or Bot. Now this is the answer that I will get. Okay, I was trying to see maximize, right? So this is the same question, but instead of ChatGPT, we can ask Bot, and Bot gives, it is able to give a little more interactive. It is giving pictures, it is showing, like, how it looks like each place and everything, right? So this is how Bot comes back with the answer. And also Bing. Bing has OpenAI's GPT integrated into their browser as well as the chat interface is works only in the Edge, so that's why I have to switch to Edge and Bing. I never used Bing or Edge browser before, but with GPT, like, I wanted to really try, so I tried with it. So let's try this question, right? Let's say I just ask a general question, like, should I buy iPhone or Android phone? And this is just an example, right? If you're Googling, then you will get bunch of answers. Again, you have to go through, look through each of this. But, here it can summarize it, right? It can give you a nice answer, highlighting important points, and then also it can also give you the links. Like, it provides you an answer and it can also give you the citations, like, it has got these answers from these are the sites. So you can click on any of those, like, and you can click on this and it will open this thing. So this is one of the ways you can research. Right now you don't have to use only Google. Like I last time when I had to buy a camera, this is what I used. I asked for, which camera to buy. I can also ask, what are the best Android phones in 2023, right? It can give you that, right? Again, you can still do with Google, but here you have where it can summarize the top ones and then give you the price and everything, right? It's much more easy. Like, it saves you a lot of time in the research. Okay, let's go back to the presentation. Yeah, so these are some tools. There is a character AI, that is used to you can give a personality, like you can say, like you can ask it to answer like Elon Musk or Steve Jobs, anybody, right? It knows that from the things that they have spoken or written, it understands how a person will speak, and it will be able to answer in that. Midjourney is another tool where it can generate images. That is also very popular. And there are so many tools. And then if you Google AI tools, you will find a lot. But um, since this is out there, it's very popular, and I would recommend you can just start and experiment with it, play around with it, right? Okay, so there is another question here. So 21 player study. Let me start it. Okay, there's a few more people joining. Let me give some time. Okay, let me start it. So answers provided by GPT are always correct. So this is the question you try to answer. I think once everybody answers, it will close. Okay. Okay, so most people answered right. No is the correct answer because it doesn't always answer correct, um, and then few people said yes. And okay, yeah. So this is the important thing. Okay, it also gives some points to people whoever answered. Okay. Okay. All right. Right. So this is something I wanted to be cautious because I told, like go give it a try, but this is very important as especially for students. Don't trust everything that comes back from GPT or AI because they are only trying to mirror the basically it is based on what it has learned. If there will be a lot of incorrect things in the internet that it will try to use it. So that is one part of the problem where the data is incorrect, it's going to answer incorrect. The other problem itself is called hallucination, where it will answer, but it's basically it doesn't know the answer, but it can hallucinate and then provide you an answer which is completely incorrect, right? That is also possible with hallucinate, possible with GPT. So don't trust it. So always cross check the fact, even if you get something from chat GPT, you just double check the fact. So that is very important. Just don't trust, go with like what chat GPT has provided. Okay, so here I have another question. Let's start. Okay, so I've given a little more time because it's a typing question. So what are the areas or jobs do you think AI and ChatGPT could be very useful in? Okay, looks like most people have answered within the time, so I think it will soon end. Yeah, I had given it a little more time because of it's a typing question. So okay. Okay, customer service. Yes, the customer service is definitely one of the biggest areas, right? Programming is also correct. Retail, healthcare, coding, computer development, nursing, search, data mining, coding. I see IT, customer service. Yes, customer service is the biggest one. Mundane text processing, searching for a solution, chat GPT, student learning. Yeah, learning is also very. It would be very helpful. Yeah, yes, if you have doubt, yes, you can ask. Game development. Yeah, I mean, game development, I would say, like, in terms of, you can ask in terms of coding. It can provide some code. It can help with the doctor software. Yeah. Okay, just wanted to have some thoughts going on in your mind, so that's why I had this question. Let's see some of the applications, right? What we have today. So Waymo is a automated self-driving car. It is hopefully some of you might have seen if you have gone to San Francisco. It is available in San Francisco, Phoenix, and here it is also coming to Los Angeles, where it is like a completely driverless um, taxi, like a Uber, but there is no driver. You can book a ride and you can just hop in. You'll be sitting in the back seat, and like Waymo will be completely driving it, right? So we have gone to that level of automation, where your car can drive by itself without relying on you know person to like backup, right? So again, since it's very early, so that's why it is available only in few cities, but this is the future. This is where we are going, right? Where your car can completely drive using AI. Yeah, Tesla, hopefully many of you would already know, like if you own Tesla, it has a full self-driving. It can follow the directions, and it can change lanes and do all of the automation. So this is also like one of the applications. GitHub Copilot. I hope many of you, or like many of the parents, are working in IT. So Copilot is one of the best features out there. So this works with the IDE. Like if you have like Java IDE, like if you use Xcode or IntelliJ or whatever, you can install a plugin, and then it can automatically code. Like if you write a comment, it can fill in the code, uh, and if you just write a method name based on the existing code and name of the method, it can automatically fill the implementation of the method. I mean, I have been using it as well. Like it's very powerful. It saves you a ton of time. Let's look at few more. Yeah, it is also useful in medicine. Like this is I was listening to a podcast where I learned about this K Health. So K Health, we pair clinicians with advanced AI to provide data-driven, personalized care around the clock. Chat with your medical team today, right? So basically, now you can tell your symptoms to a chatbot, and it is able to do some basic diagnosis, and then able to it will just tied up with the medical doctor. So once you have identified something, it can connect you with the doctor and make an appointment. But before that, before if you have simple symptoms, right, then it can provide you some guidance. Not only that, it can also provide some data. For example, if you provide some symptoms like for related to like respiratory problems or something, right, cold and tiredness and all of that, if you provide the symptoms, it can tell you some data like with your symptoms, this many percentage of people were diagnosed with respiratory problem, this percentage with flu, this percentage with COVID, right? It gives you some data back. So it basically uses all the data. So you get some statistical answer to it. And writing is very common because since it works very well with the natural language, there is a lot of tools for writing. So if you just Google AI writing tools, you will get bunch of tools. There is so many tools, you can explore it. Personally, I use Notion for writing. So Notion had has a AI integration where I can select a text and then right click and then ask AI to like improve it, change the language to simpler language and things like that. So you can explore as well. Okay, so we have another question here. Let me start. So you must be seeing a picture, and just a question about this picture. What do you think about this picture? Is there anything special about this picture? Okay, I think most people have answered, I believe. So let's see. Yeah, AI generated is the main thing. Yeah, Gandhi is good. Gandhi and the AI generated, those are the main answers. Yes, so that is a AI generated picture, right? So what we have is not only text. So examples I have shown so far is all text generation, but the GPT is called, what we have today is called multimodal generative AI, which means not only text, you can generate images. So that Gandhi image that we have seen is basically, if you give us like a real Gandhi's picture and ask AI to generate a similar image, it can generate, right? It can be very creative. Like you can create let's say you wanted to write a book with illustrations, right? You can write a story, and then you can take that story and then change the prompts to generate images. For that, you can completely build the story with illustrations for each of the conversation, and then able to build that book, right? That is all possible today. One of the popular tool is Midjourney, that you can use to create those artificial intelligence images. I think it's called DALI or something, that OpenAI released. That is an image generation model. And not only image, there is also audio. There are ways where you can train your own audio to the AI, and if you give a text, it will speak in your own language. Your own language. If given enough training of your voice, it can do it. So now anybody can generate other person's voice if they have data. Again, you have to use with caution. Now it's also possible that if you hear an audio with some celebrity or someone speaking, it's possible that they can generate the same audio with the AI, because if their voice is trained, you can generate a real looking voice, but it is not really their voice, right? It is also possible. So that's why it has to be like legal, and everything has to be like prudent. All those things are still there, but it is also powerful enough to generate audio as well. And also like videos in the sense, it can, if you give a like an image of a person, and if you give a text, it can animate that person talking, like it can have the mouth movements and everything matching the exact text, I mean exact speech. So that is also possible. So it is you know it is going to the next level, where it can go to all the different kind of media, right? Images, text, and everything. Okay, I think this is probably the last question on the presentation. Yeah, I had given him more time. Let's see. Okay, let's look at the answers. Yeah, programming and general search. Okay, use instead of Google search, use this job description, recruitment, tutor mode, write my homework. Yeah, that is also possible with GPT now. Answer questions I have, daily activities, learning, search to find relevant solution, research. Um, Very helpful, coding recipes, suggestions, automate mundane work, writing essays, online searches. Pretty sure you don't and use it for school. Yeah, sure. Yeah, people can use it for schoolwork. Solutions. We have a problem. Yeah, we can ask it. For fun. Yeah, yeah, we can just use it for fun too. Yeah, asking questions. Okay, great. Thank you all for participating. I think that is the end of the presentation. I don't know. We still have time, so I can provide some more examples, or we can go do QA, whatever works for the people.
Yeah, Raja, we have about another 10-15 minutes. If you have any other agenda, and then we can take some questions.
Sure. Let me look at my notes and see if I mean I saved a few things right for the later. So let me try. Let me try a few examples. Right. Um, let's say. I mean, ChatGPT is fun, right? So you can just try to use it for any, you can use it for programming too. Like, like let's say if you wanted to, if you're working, if you want to write, and I hear like some of the students are interested in learning Python and writing some code. Let's say you want to write some code, you can ask ChatGPT to write, right? So I'm asking create a Python code to find a weather of a given city, right? So if you just know basic Python and you don't know where to get started, it can just write you the code, right? So this uses one of the open API, sorry, weather application. So you need to first register and get a key. So it tells you like you have to get open weather map key, and once you have it, you can run this, right? Yeah, you can ask it to write any code. Um, it can convert like mundane task. Also, um, let's say, um, I think let me pick another example. Okay, let's ask about this one. I'm just trying to ask questions that would be helpful for high school students. Um, let's say if you are preparing for a SAT exam, you can give it a role like you are a motivational coach and educator, and I'm trying to study for SAT test. Can you provide practical tips and advice, right? So then it will able to give you nice tips, right? So one of the key thing is the response is based off of what you ask, and in the AI world it is called, or GPT world it is called prompt engineering. So it really depends on the instruction. So you have to be very clear. You have to provide, you can give it a role that works better. That's why I have given like you are a motivational coach, like that. So you should give it a role like you are a teacher. You can answer step by step, things like that, right? um, so then it will able to provide you answer, right? And then I can also do a Notion, um, right? So let's say I'm trying to think, if I just have this text, I'm just trying something here. So here has a ask AI, and then I can, okay, let me not do this, let me do something else, right? So let me create a new page, and then I can say like start with AI, right? And then write essay about, let's say, Bharatiyar, right? Then it can do it. You can do continue writing, it can write. So this is one of the AI tool I'm using for writing, but there are other tools too, right? And you can do like a lot of things, like you can choose a text and then ask AI to simplify the language, change tone to friendly. It can change things like that, right? So a lot of writing. It's very useful for writing and improving the writing. Okay, so let me go back. Yeah, so those are the things I had. I think that's all I covered everything I had. So we can go to QA.
Yeah, no, that was super cool, Rajasekar. We learned quite a lot. I use it for the job descriptions. I type in, can you give me the job descriptions for a Salesforce developer? And then I can say, change it to include healthcare. And I can continue and make it a senior developer, right? So I can keep adding that. So learned quite a lot, including the Notion. That's a great tool as well. So really good. We have a few questions, and I wanted to write that. Folks are welcome to add new questions to the chat window, or if you want to raise your hand, you can also speak up your question. So let me go through the questions. We have around 4 or 5 questions. The first one is from Suresh. Hi Raj, very good initiative and good product. My question, how much does the story aspect of this KuralBot work?
It is able to come up with some good stories, but there are definitely some deficiencies. If you ask, like, after you ask a couple of questions, you will see the pattern. It just works with the pattern. It always names the character as Ravi, like Crazy Mohan's script. It always comes with the same name. It has the same theme. So the way it creates a story is like it knows like how a story looks like. It has to have a beginning, middle, end, and right. It has the same format. After a bit, you will see it boring because it is a machine generated, right? But initially, it is good. So for folks like trying out, it will be good, but after some while you will see the repetitiveness and same pattern. Yeah.
Tell us a little
Sampath, can I just follow up to that question? My main question there was, how did he implement it? Whether the story was picked by ChatGPT based on the stories that are available, or because you said using API you have created those indexes, right? Likewise, for every Kural, have you given some stories, and whether it is picking from that?
No,
That's my main question. Yeah.
Yeah. So in the implementation, I have not given any stories. It is all the stories that ChatGPT has come up with. I have only given it instruction. I have told it, you are a creative story writer. Come up with inspiring and motivating story, like that. So these are the instructions. And then in the instruction, it will also include the meaning of that Quran, like whatever we have, right? Then it will take that and it will create the story. Sometimes it will say, I don't know also, because the thing will be very complicated. It cannot imagine and come up with a story. But the story itself is really completely generated by GPT. Nothing I have given.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
The next question, Rajasekar, is from Raji Atapan. Can we input English translations for Kurals from other sources, like online books? The one I saw online when using Google weren't appropriate.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that is something I wanted to do. Right now, I have used GU Pope's translations. The other things can be possible, but first thing we have to make sure there is no copyright issues, because some of the translations I liked, it's copyrighted by the author and the publication. So we have to make sure that is clear. So we have to get the permission. Once we have it, I think changing is simple, right? I mean, we just need to create a new database with a different set of meanings and use it, and we can have an option to pick GUPOP versus other one. Then it can just use the other one to answer it. Yeah. So it's work to be done. Yeah, but that is a good one to definitely pursue.
Yeah, and I saw your comment about making this a community project. We would love to partner with you. We have quite a lot of children that will be interested. So happy to explore that further.
Yeah.
The next Next question is from Niveda Jivanandam. Any plans to extend this to other Sangha Ilakyams?
Right now, yeah, I have not thought about it much because I'm also not familiar with many of those, to be frank. So it's definitely possible. But some people like Munyan Selvan, like, like there is a lot of literature that people are interested. It really depends on like their interest. Once I understand the technology or how it works, you can do it with anything, right? The idea can be applied to anywhere, right? If you give a big story, for example, if you take Ponniyin Selvan or something, you can generate illustrations or images from that. Even Thirukkural, you can generate illustrations from that using image, or you can take a big story and then make it short. You can do a lot with it.
Yeah.
It's just the imagination that on how you wanted to use it.
I think it's really smart that you started with Thirukkural because we've all learned Thirukkural. We've all tried to use Thirukkural, and we are trying to teach Thirukkural to our children. And there is so much to go through, right? So I really think KuralBot makes it easy to reference when you have a specific keyword, and also easy to teach it back to the newer generation. So I think it's really cool that you started with Thirukkural.
Right. Yeah, I mean, when I learned Thirukkural like some long time ago, I forgot, right? I mean, I don't remember anything. And then when I really want to apply it, like, how do we become like a good manager or something? I know Thirukkural has answers, but I don't know, like, I can't go and look for each and every Kural and, do it, right? So we need to search, but even if you search without KuralBot, if you search Google, you won't get like a good answers because it looks up all the internet for that. And then it is not domain specific trained, right? So that is the idea where you train with some particular domain expertise. So you give this expertise to the GPT. So now it is going to look for answers only in this context. Then you will
Right.
get back, like, right? That is the main thing, right? So that is why people are building. Even the GPT is like whole internet, right? But they also have a way to do it. That's the beauty of it, right? They have given you API where you not only have to leverage ChatGPT, but you can build on top of it by your own custom knowledge. You can give it any knowledge, like that is what, like, service agents are using. The service, we saw like a lot of responses. You can replace the service agent because they have like a very well documented knowledge base of Q&A, right? That's what they do. Like, when you call someone for support, have this problem, they will read some document, right, and then answer. So that's what, you can train with that. You will get back all automated.
Yeah, I'll be sure to use it. The next question is from Kotalango Lian. Similar question to the previous one. Have you considered extending to Tamil sources for wisdom, like Avayar's Athichudi?
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, I have not tried it, but definitely it's possible. Yeah, I mean, it's people interested that they can build it. I'm happy to share the technology behind it and how to do it. When if help needed, I can help. But yeah, it's possible. Yeah.
Yeah, just to add to that, right? So since you're looking for community involvement, there are a lot of people who may not have coding experience, but they may be experts in literature or Sangha Ilakyam, things like that. So if you tell them, hey, give me a spreadsheet with this kind of data, I can input to my model and I can train the model. So that's another way you can potentially extend it to other sources.
Right. Yeah, that's make it very generic where you can import any kind of a knowledge and do it, right? Yeah, that's also possible. Yeah.
Thank you.
The next question is from Mohan Ramalingam. Vanakkam, what are your thoughts on other AI tools like Bard from Google, resourceful on Tamil topics as well?
Yeah, I have not explored BART much. I have primarily used GPT and ChatGPT only. Yeah, again, I used Bing, but again, Bing is also based on GPT. So BART is something I have not tried enough
Right.
to comment on it. But other one, the Claude, which is coming from Anthropic, I have heard good things about it, which is much more safer, I believe, and especially for textual writing. Anthropic seems to be better. For example, the Notion example I showed, that is using Anthropic. So definitely there is good competition here. So definitely it's not like just OpenAI and GPT. We have definitely other tools each one will have its own purpose, I think, because bot will have a tight integration with Google and it will work very similar to Google. Bing will be slightly different. So the Bing's idea is like basically it's good for buying products. So what will happen is like once you look for products, they will have links to like buy them, right? And that's how they would make money. So we have to also understand that it's good to understand what is good for what, right? Also, because if you just ask about some homework question in bot, it may not answer, but the chat GPT may do it better. So yeah, we have to understand, experiment with it to see.
Yeah, using AI for homework is plagiarism, so don't try it.
Yes, so it's not recommended. Yeah.
Thank you. The next question is from Siva. His question is, how to use Tamil in ChatGPT? Is there
Right.
any? Yeah, I think that's the question. There is a little more technical aspect to that, but that's his question.
Right. So firstly, the model itself doesn't have Tamil trained data yet. So GPT, I tried with so for example, right, I started with typing the Kural in Tamil. Even in the KuralBot, I have this commands like hash the Kural number and at the Adhikaram name. The reason I have to do it, if I simply give the Adhikar, if I say Natpu Adhikaram, it cannot recognize that as a Tamil word Natpu, and it just goes somewhere else. So that's why I have to pick the right one. So this is like a pick. I'm forcing it to pick the right Adhikaram, right? So that it can know the correct data to input, right? So there is very limited thing. There is a lot of open source models as well, like here, like I think probably that will probably work, because I don't think OpenAI themselves would have that support. Like there is open source models available, so that is one of the problems. So we have to use other in combination. Maybe we have to translate Tamil into English first, and then give that as an input, and then get the response and translate back to Tamil. That's how probably it might work better. But directly using Tamil, because see the if we understand how it works, it has to know the language, right? It Because each language has its own nuances. English has its own grammar. If you don't understand that grammar, meaning of words, right? So you can't. The word mail may mean different, right? It could be like a mail coming from the package or email, or um, so that is different. The word server would be different in terms of different context. So it has to understand that, and that is not easy if you don't have enough data. So Tamil will also have the same thing. Different word will mean different in terms of context. So that has to be trained. So it's not without data, and not only data, the compute resources, right? So there is a lot of servers and things that is used to train this data. So if it is not available, then it won't be there. So maybe it may happen in future. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Siva, I know your question had a lot more technical aspects. This group, there's a lot of children as well, middle school and high school, so I excluded the technical question of your question. The next question is from Akshay Muthu. How do you think this technology can advance in the future? Any features you would like to add?
It's a question about the technology of the KuralBot, or is it like technology of GPT? I'm not clear. Like
To KuralBot.
yeah, KuralBot. Yeah, I mean there is definitely a lot to do, right? Because the Tamil language support I definitely want to add, because I think for a lot of old people and people in India, like they are not comfortable with conversing in English. So Tamil would definitely be useful, and audio would be definitely another useful things, because people would love to
Yes.
talk
Yes.
and hear back in audio. So that will be good. And also like integrations like the Telegram or WhatsApp, that would be like much more easier. So yeah, I mean definitely there are a lot of things we can make it better.
Yeah, I think a portion of the audio, if it can be integrated with the Alexas and the Facebooks, then portal and things like, then it becomes much more conversational within the home, right?
Yeah.
The next question is from Valli Nachipan. Thanks so much for sharing this detailed insight on OpenAI. When thinking about all these applications of OpenAI, I feel like the accuracy of the answers are very important from an ethical and moral standpoint. Given that ChatGPT can be inaccurate, how do these bots, based on them, ensure accuracy? Do they supervise the data that is trained on, or is the model also trained to learn from correct and wrong answers? This is a question I myself had. How do we improve the accuracy of the answers?
Yeah, there are many ways. The first one of the strategies that companies are trying to implement is something called human in the loop, right? Basically, you don't give the answer directly to whoever is asking. There'll be a human. The human could be the same person, right? So basically, you don't just do it like you ask for feedback, right? And then you ask like if this is helpful or like accurate. So you have to the way to make it learn is to provide the feedback. So the feedback loop has to come back, right? So you have to ask for like the feedback, thumbs up, thumbs down, and then you feed that back, right? So that is one of the way, right? Some of the companies when they work on it, right? So for example, if we take a service agent as an example, when agent is trying to answer the end user, but if there is a chat gpt that is helping the agent, then the agent will be taking the response from chat gpt and then reviewing it and then giving back to the user, right? So there is a intermediate person who reviews it and gives back. Instead of, you still have the human, but the human is not previously the human. For example, let's take an example. There is a support agent who used to go to a like knowledge article and websites and find an answer and then give answer back to the end user. Instead, now ChatGPT can take all the work. It can take the answers. It can give the summary of what the agent is supposed to type, but it will not give it back, right? It will just basically, the agent will review it and he may even edit it and then give back, right? So then when it is edited, it is also can be like um, given as a feedback, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Next, Inba Bharati asks, how can I use this application? And when she says application, she means KuralBot, for quoting citations and for writing essays.
Yeah, so there's two parts, right? I think yeah, it is not recommended to use for schoolwork, so that is first disclaimer. I think the citations is something I think looks like even they added in the chat gpt has now a button to add a citation now there. But if you ask in bot or something, it uses the citations. It will give you like where it got the answers, so you can use them. uh, but yeah, that is the other missing feature of the thing, where it doesn't give you, because it sometimes gives, like when I ask for something, it will give you an answer, and in the answer it will say you can read about more of this from this website or something. It will say, it will end with that message, and then I will ask it to give the link to that. It will give the link, and when you click on the link is not there. So basically, it has when it was trained, it had that data, but that link is no more relevant, right? So it's possible that you don't have the exact reference to the original content where it is trained on.
The next question, and probably the last question, is from Prashant Ramakrishnan. Can an individual without coding experience get going on AI and ChatGPT and develop applications? What's the reasonable time from your experience to get started working on, to get something going on ChatGPT?
Yeah, I mean, there are different ways, right? So the easiest entry seems to be understanding the prompt engineering, right? So that's a power, right? So basically, previously, if you wanted to use AI, there is a specific domain called data science, right? Where you have to understand a lot of things, training and predictive analysis, and so much mathematical and statistical stuff you need to know before. What OpenAI has done, it has abstracted everything. It has given you API where programmers can call those APIs and build it. But given the question, like you are not a programmer, but you wanted to use leverage AI, means then you have to go one level up and then learn the prompt engineering, where you can get the output based on the prompt. So you need to learn only prompt is pretty much like a simple English. So with the prompt, you will able to get back the correct like a response you want, right? If you can go write prompt, it can write code for you, right? You can get back the code and then use it, right? So you have to combine things. But I think there is a lot of the prompt engineering itself is going to be like a career in future, or even now it is, right? The companies will start hiring prompt engineers as a resource as well, because you need to now learn to know how to get answers from ChatGPT, right? The way you want. So that is where the prompt engineering comes. So you can engineer the prompt. It is also like art to like tweak it, make it better. So yeah, the good starting point would be to learn prompt engineering and then see how you can get back answers. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Rajasekar. That was our last question. I wanted to thank you for taking time. This is, of course, a very hot topic, ChatGPT. Thank you for explaining about KuralBot, but also going a little bit broader, telling us about ChatGPT and the technology architecture. At some stage, I saw more than 80 to 90 participants and families in the call. So and I saw a lot of parents in addition to the kids as well. So hopefully it was useful for all of us. So thank you. Your passion for Thirukkural and your passion for technology really shows. We wish you well to continue this journey. We would love to partner with you. And thank you to also young translators, Kotalango Lian, for partnering on this session. With that, we close the session. Before you guys leave, look for join the Style WhatsApp group. If you do not know what it is, send us an email. We can send you the link to join. We have a lot of sessions coming up in the near future. If you're an expert or if you know of an expert like Rajasekar in technology, in leadership, in public speaking, in careers, in colleges, reach out to us. We would love to partner with you and bring experts for the benefit of our children. Good stuff. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Rajasekar, Elango, for preparing.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for this opportunity and connecting with a lot more audience. Thank you.
We thoroughly enjoyed. It's a pleasure.
Okay, thank you.